Election debrief was held for UTC students.
Dallas Payton was there and has the story for us.
Regardless of if students voted for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, UTC political science professors wanted to better educate students about the election and what they need to know. Jeremy Strickler, an associate political science professor, breaks down the most important topics that were talked about during the election debrief.
There was a lot of questions leading up to this election, whether or not it was going to be a long, drawn-out event where it would take many days, if not a week, before we knew the victor. But it turns out that it was closer to 2016, where we knew pretty much election night, or at least the following morning, that Donald Trump had won enough electoral votes.
Other topics were spoken about, like pressing issues that voters cared about when voting, and whether or not there is a major shift among the constituents of the two parties.
What we call a realignment potentially underway, with more working class Americans aligning with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party capturing the more urban and suburban populations, particularly those who are college educated. And so a realignment is when the two parties sort of, one faction of the party leaves that party and aligns itself with the other party.
As for what Strickler hopes students take away from the debrief is that they will stay engaged regardless of who their candidate was.
For Harris supporters, I think it's important for them to understand that there are many ways to stay engaged in politics. Whatever got them into the campaign, into its movement, they should continue that and follow the policies. And for Trump supporters, if they supported him for certain issues, I kind of encourage students to kind of follow through.
He encourages students to follow politics during the off-election season and not just during campaigning. Local 3 caught up with 2 UTC seniors to get their thoughts on the debrief.
I think it was good to have a safe atmosphere for everybody to sit down and maybe concern some questions that they have with people who probably know more than most people on campus about political science.
Takeaway is it's not necessarily a national level. There's smaller levels to be looking at. There's local elections to also be concerned with. So it's more of like a scale thing. You should be involved in different ways.
For Local 3 News, I'm Dallas Payton.